I got Gotti in the building with me. All right, so I'm gonna start out as man. Where you born and raised at?
Brownsville, Tennessee.
All right. So Brownsville, Tennessee. So tell me like how your upbringing was, like how you were raised up and shit like that.
I had a good upbringing. Even though like I didn't have both my parents in my life, but I had a good upbringing. 'Cause I had my grandma, and she was a Christian woman, school teacher for 32 years, and I had a good upbringing. I had an uncle in the house, so I guess that was my father figure, and cause my daddy died when I was 5, and my mama, she was in the street pretty much my whole life.
So how did your dad pass away?
Car wreck.
Correct. All right. So by you not having both parents in the house, like did it kind of like stumble you like in the wrong direction?
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people, they make up excuses, like, they'll say that, but I do believe my dad or her stuff been different, like, a lot different, because he was an active father, I lived with, like, my dad up until he had the car wreck, I lived in the house with him, slept in the bed with him, so, he was one of them dudes going to work, to my knowledge, he ain't sell no dope or nothing like that, so I figured, man, things would have been different if he never got killed in the car wreck.
So how you end up getting the 9 Ghost Gotti?
Well, the ghost, that's the easy part, You already know where they come from, man. This uncut interview and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, they come from Vice Lord stuff. The ghost part, the Gotti part come from when I was in juvenile. We supposed to lock down at a certain time every night, like 9 o'clock, and I always like find a way to stay out. And the little officer dude would be like, man, you don't never lock down time. Who you think you is, John Gotti? So he tried to start it as a joke. Like every night he like, lock down Gotti and stuff like that. And there was a couple guys from my town in juvenile with me. And in the house, that what they called in the house, so many people was just started calling me that. It just stuck like that as a nickname. It started out as a joke, but it stuck.
So before all the penitentiary and stuff like that, so what you used to do like in school, like you played in the sports like that coming up?
Yeah, I played all sports when I come up. I did track, I did basketball, like not at school, but we had a thing called College Hill and Carver High. They have a little summer program, little summer basketball league, winter basketball league. I used to play that. I played Dixie Youth baseball coming up, little league baseball. But my thing was football. I played that through school though.
So what position you play at football?
Defensive end and center.
Alright, so how long did you play like actual sports? Like you ain't want to stick with it or?
No, I played all the way up to the 10th grade. Yeah, all the way up to the 10th grade. Then I ended up going to juvenile my 11th grade year. Then when I came back, my 12th grade year, I tried to get back on the team, but I don't know. I don't know, you want to call it like the streets had kind of like, I got a hold of it. Because really, juvenile really to me made me worse.
So how you take it back to like how you end up going to juvenile, if you want to just express that.
Really, going to juvenile, I was just getting in trouble, period. Like, what the very first crime I ever done? Very first crime I ever done was breaking in a gas station, man, when I was young, We broke in there, stole a whole lot of car and cigarettes and, resold them and stuff. But anyway, got caught for that. And they just started out with regular juvenile probation. So then, the more trouble you get in, they put you on intensive probation. But I'm going to keep it real. People talk bad about the judge around here, Judge Reed, but dude gave me like about 6 times before he even sent me to juvenile. He kept saying, hey, you get in trouble again, I'm sending you to juvenile. I come to court. He said it about 6 times before he actually did it. But what actually sent me to juvenile was a stolen car and violation of intensive probation. Remember, when you're on intensive juvenile probation, any charge like truancy, being late for curfew, because the curfew at 12 o'clock if you under 18, anything like that, you go on juvenile. So, but I actually went for a stolen car.
So when they took like when you got caught and all that stuff like that, So what was going through your head once once the judge gave you your sentence?
Really, like, I kind of was happy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when they caught me, I actually was in the bed asleep. They came to my bed. The sheriff officer like, put your clothes on, and so he stood right outside my bedroom the whole time. And I'm like, man, I'm finna really go to juvenile. So I was finna jump out my bedroom window, but I don't know. Dude kept looking in the door, and I believe I had tried it. He would probably try to grab me. So anyway, they took me to Memphis detention. And Memphis detention, if you're in West Tennessee, that's where you gonna go. And so it was like a Thursday or something. So I had to stay there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think even Tuesday. But when the sheriff officers finally came and got me to take me to juvenile court, I was really happy because, you know, it's 23-1 over there. And I was like, no, the part I was on, it wasn't 23-1. It's like you got to sit in the day room all day for the first half of the morning, then sit in the other side for the other half of the morning, but you just sitting in the chair. Ain't no TV on. There's a TV there, but it ain't on. And you can't go to sleep, so you got to just sit in the chair all day long. It's like a lot of dudes in there with you, but ain't no talking, ain't none of that, so they were just boring. So when they did come get me, I was like, man, I'll be glad I go to court. So I went to court. He violated me and went on to sentence me. And when he first told me, well, you know, you got to get transported. So when I got transported, you know, you can ask the driver, like, where I'm going. And she said, Waynesboro. At the time, you know, I was so slow. I was like, Waynesboro. I said, y'all take people out of state. I thought that was in Arizona or somewhere. But the way it sounded, she said, no. She started laughing. She said, no. But it's going across the river. She telling you cross the Tennessee River. And it's basically like a straight white town. Usually the only black people that's in that town at all are the one actually locked up in the juvenile facility. Yeah, so.
So what? So all right. So when you got to that jump right there, like once you like you were doing your little time and stuff like that, like you did you come up with some type of plan before you got out?
Yeah, it was an illegal plan though. Now this I said juvenile made me worse because like, you know, I was already like hustling, selling dope and stuff, but I guess I would call it I was playing hustling. I got in there, there's a lot of Nashville dudes and stuff in there, Clarksville. Can't remember no Memphis dude, but there's a lot of Nashville dudes and stuff. And I just listen to these dudes, they same age as me, and I'm listening to little stories they telling and stuff. I'm like, them dudes get money for real, you know. So I already put in my mind was like, you get $1 every single day you in there. And I said, man, I'm gonna save enough money to buy me a quarter. And so my whole goal was, you know, that I started hustling in there. Like, you know, they give you snack cakes, just some little stuff like this. So I started hustling, selling my snack cakes for stuff in there and saving no money. So you only supposed to have you really don't supposed to have a certain amount of money on you. And so when dude went in my locker, I had like $100 something in there. And dude was like, you only supposed to have $7 on you. How you got $100 something in here? And they was all ones and stuff now. So, you know, it's always a snitch everywhere. And they told him like, dude been selling cakes and all this stuff now. So they changed the rule when I was in there that you can't get your money. They just show you every week like you got $7 in your account. You sign a paper every week. And like you go on an outing or you go home, then they give you your money then. But when you come back in, you gotta give them they change. Like you can't keep no money on you. But yeah, when I got out, they like really pushed me to like start really like getting in the street hustling. So after I went to juvenile.
So what year you end up getting out?
Shoot, I stayed there 10 months. So I got out like the summer right before my senior year.
So when you came back to school, you were saying you were trying to get back in football and all that stuff. What's the reason why you think he won't let you back?
No, he was. They were trying to get me to play football. It just, man, what happened here? I was basically like, I was out of shape. Like before I got locked up, I was like the fastest lineman. So I got out, we were running gashes, and I tried to push myself, and I was like, damn, I just can't move as fast as I can. I was getting tired, but I wasn't thinking about it like how I know now. If I had stuck it out for about 30 days, I would have been right back in good condition. And so, in the process of they were doing it, like I said, I was still in the streets. So I'm 18 at the time now. and I caught my first charge. And they actually came to school and arrested me. And so that would mess me up right there. Because I got arrested at school like right before them, like when I first came back, the football season already started. So they were trying to tell me like, man, if you weren't already kind of like registered before the season started, you probably can't get on the team. But the coaches and them, like I said, I was still good. They were trying to get me qualified to play, and they were really probably finna do it. But like I said, I ended up catching a charge before that happened. They were really through the football law. So I ended up getting arrested at school, and I went and did 198 days in the county. Man, when I actually got out of the county, it was like, I won't say it was summer school, because school was over. School was over. It was summer school going on then.
So back to juvenile, like what's the worst thing you seen in juvenile? Like the worst condition.
Juvenile. I can't just say. The only thing I said that really bad happened in juvenile was it was a dude from Murphyboro, another bro from Clarkville, and it was like four dudes. They were trying to escape. Well, really, they did escape for a little minute. So, when before you go use the bathroom in there, you gotta be standing in your door like staff. And the staff gonna come out and look, might use the bathroom. So you go to the bathroom. So just say you do that right now, like Steph can go to the bathroom, like yeah. And somebody else might be like, Steph, can I use the bathroom? So they waited till in the middle of the night when it wasn't number just two officers there, because third shift don't number two officers be there. So they waited, and kind of everybody in the house knew what they gonna do, but we thinking they bluffing. But when they start packing their clothes and all this stuff, had their clothes, I said, man, it might go down for real. So next thing I know, I just hear a whole lot of commotion. I look out my door, man, they just whooping both the officers. One officer just got on there, and he just ran. Like, he just ran and left his dude. And you got to think these some juvenile, they got a grown man running. So they run. I mean, they whooped the officer. Then they went outside. They were trying to, steal the car. But they couldn't crank because they ain't had the right key. So you just see all four of the juveniles all three of them take off running. The fourth one that was really with them, he seen them one going right, so he came back in and tried to act like he ain't had nothing to do with it, because he never actually whooped the officer. When the other three were whooping the officer, he just battled with the dude with the bags. And so when he seen him whoop the officer, he ran outside and was putting the bags in the car. So when they were finna get in the car, and it wouldn't start, and then he seen them three running, and he seen the other officer got beat up come outside. He got the bags and came back in like he ain't do nothing. But the whole time, he was with the move. But that's the only thing I can say I just really, really seen bad happen in juvenile. Like they just, in that junk anyway. But mental detention, I seen them strap, it's like a wheelchair thing where they can strap you to the wheelchair where you can't move at all. I seen them do that, just push a dude in a cold shower. Because, mental detention, they just straight like black officers. And they all they used to play football type stuff. So, everybody know Memphis a black town, but they had a bunch of black hood officers that was working in the detention center in Memphis.
So after you did them 10 months, so how long you think it took you to go right back after you just coming off with a 10-month juvenile sentence?
Like I said, I went back to school. I remember I got out in May. That year. And when I went to the county, it was November. So whatever, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, so whatever that was, about 6 months.
So once you got locked up that time, so then you say you get locked up for you said that was the robbery charge right there, then, right? Then you said it was a robbery charge.
No, I ain't never hit no robbery.
Yeah. I'm tripping. So the second time you get locked up, what you get locked up for that?
Stolen merchandise, like theft over 10,000. That one I actually went to the county jail when they came arrest me at school.
So once they arrest you at school, and then you got in front of the judge, and you heard your sentence. So what was going through your head once you got ready to get your sentence?
See, that ain't really how it happened. Like when boom, I got arrested. They came, got me from school, took me to the county, just tell me what I'm charged with. And so I'm just in there junk. And so now I'm gonna take it back before then. Now I actually caught a charge before then. It was a auto theft, but they dropped it down to joyride and gave me 45 days. And I was still in school, so I couldn't do the time in jail. I mean, I couldn't do the 45 days straight because when I told them I was in school, they're like, "You still in school?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "What grade?" I said, "I'm a senior." And so he said, "Dang." So he said, "Well, this is what you do." He said, "Go do weekend." He gave me weekend. I had 22 weekends to do. So each weekend counted as 2 days. So I had to do 22 weekends. But one of the time, so I go in the first weekend. When you leave, they said, "Okay, credit 2 days." So I go in second weekend, you leave, they said credit 2 days. So I know I got 4 days. And so every time I leave, I ask how many days I done done. So it was something kind of like homecoming. It came up, and everybody in school talking about going to homecoming. I'm over there like, "Man, everybody going to homecoming, I'm going to jail." Because like I said, every Friday, I go and turn myself in every Friday, and I get out every Sunday. So I just booked. And I skipped during the time that weekend. So I go next weekend like I was supposed to. So just I supposed to have credit for 4 days. So I asked the woman at the end like how much time I got credit for. She said, "No, I supposed to have credit for 6 days because I skipped that last weekend." So when I went back and I asked her like how much time I got, she said, "You got credit for 8 days." So I'm like, dang, they counted the weekend I skipped. So I start going the weekend, skipping the weekend, going the weekend, skipping the weekend. Now I don't know if the woman was just cool with me or what, but she was just putting it down. And so during one of the weekends that I skipped, that when I caught the charge, the theft over 10,000. And I look at it like if I had been in jail like I was supposed to turn myself in, I wouldn't even caught that charge. So that's where the charge came from right there. And like I said, it wasn't really like I got sentenced because when I got arrested, they just put you in jail. So you just going back and forth to court. And so like I said, I stayed there 198 days. And when I went to court after 198 days, like I went to several court dates back and forth, back and forth. You got general sessions court, then they bound it over to circuit court. And then, you go back and forth. Back then, you would go to circuit court every 3 months. And so, yeah, every 3 months. And so the first time I went, they just read my charges out, threw them off. The second time I went, they came to me with a plea deal, which was like, we give you 3 years on state probation and 198 days time served. And so my lawyer, he was telling me like, man, I can beat this charge because they just found the stolen merchandise. I'm gonna keep real at my grandma's crib, but they can't actually say who stole it because they really didn't. He said, man, this stuff gonna get dropped to. He said I can get it dropped to something. But if I knew what I knew now, I would have sat in jail a little bit longer and let him, get the charge dropped and get it always dismissed off my record because at the time I wasn't a felon or nothing. But I'm young. 30 days in jail seems like a lot of time when you're young. So I said, but if I sign this paper, I'm gonna go home today. He said, yeah, you sign it, you'll go home. But man, I'm telling you, man, you can beat this charge, man, if you just sit in there a little bit while longer. But I look back now, what I should have done is told him to look, give me a bond reduction and let me make bond. Then I'll just go back and forth from on the street, back and forth to court. But I was young, I ain't know nothing about the law. So I ended up on 3 years state probation. And after I did that 198 days in jail, that's how I got the 3 years state probation.
So you know what year that was?
2001 going over in 2002. It was November of 2001 when I went to jail. And then I got out in like May of 2002.
So after you fighting the charge and all that stuff like that, you get the probation. Like, did you end up lasting out the probation or you end up violating?
No, like really, I'm gonna keep it real. Like the way my life had been going was like it's like everything. I went to a higher step. Like I went to juvenile, got out of juvenile. I went to the county jail. After I got 3 years on supervised probation. I mean on probation. I ended up going to the state penitentiary. And so that what happened after I got the state time. I didn't last it out. I caught another charge. And when I caught that charge, they violated them 3-year paper. And they sent me to the penitentiary.
So how long you end up doing in the penitentiary?
Let me see. I went in June. Because they county jail time. I left June or July of 2002, and I got out May 19th, 2006. So about almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. So so during that time right there, like, what's the worst thing? Well, I ain't gonna say what's the worst thing, but like what's a little thing like that had you like a little shocking thing? You had like a little shocking moment where like, man, I ain't trying to be living in here.
Shoot, when I stab somebody.
Yeah. So what you think what had like brung up to the little point, brung you to the point that you had to just use force against somebody?
Cause like when I went there then, I was in the gang. Well, it says organization, but I was in the gang. I was a vice lord, and pretty much we got into some Crips. And I'm gonna be real, man. Like, I see why a lot of these young kids out here nowadays be wanting to like shoot people and all that type of stuff, try to get a rep. Because back then, I look now. If I was the same person back then with the mind frame I got now, I've been wanting to do like sitting back out the way, never like I was volunteering to put in work and stuff, trying to like impress all these big brother, big homie, OG, whatever you want to call them. But like I say, one of my guys got into it with a Crip, and what crazy, he lied, but we didn't care. We just really like trying to show people that like we ready to put in work, we'll do something. And so at first I was nervous because bro really had a thing like y'all go over there and smash dude, but he gave me a butcher and was like, yeah, when y'all go, man, you make sure you do this right here. And so. Man, it was shocking to me because I ain't never ever stabbed nobody before.
So, alright, so did they end up charging you for the butcher, or they really ain't found out about the incident?
No, they found out about the incident. They just really shipped all of us. They shipped like the Crips and the Vice Lord. And I ain't found out till we was in the hole what real deal happened. But yeah, they shipped all of us to another penitentiary.
Alright, so once you finish your time out there, what you did you plan something like what you gonna do when you got out? Or you
I had a plan. I actually went through with it though, like 'cause I had a celly man, and he was just talking about blues concerts and stuff like that, just concerts. And at the time, I said, man, we ain't never had a concert in Brownwood before. And I was like in there, I said, man, when I get out, that when Yo Gotti very, 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 very was first coming out, like what that first album he had? That junk that said, I'm sell my dope, don't trust no bitch. It was that junk. But then what made me think about it, his brother was locked up with me at the penitentiary. He really would like mess with all the brothers pretty tough. Like he hang with the Vice Lords. Like a lot of people thought he was a Vice Lord, but he just hang with the Vice Lords. And at the time, I had just heard about him. Now what's crazy, all this time from when I first hit the penitentiary to juvenile, all this stuff happened less than like a 2-year time frame. It like I said, I got in trouble juvenile, went to the county jail, went to the penitentiary. And so when I was in the county jail, when I was in juvenile, that's the first time I ever heard of Yo Gotti. And so I was around like 17 when the first time I ever heard of Yo Gotti. And he was bumping and stuff. And then I ended up getting a penitentiary. And his brother was there. And I was just telling my celly man, like, when he was talking about the blues concert, I was like, man, I said, God, he big in our area, but he really ain't big. I was like, man, when I get out, I'm going to bring dude. I hated on God a little bit. I was like, man, I hope he don't blow up before I get out. Because I know if he blow up, like, real big, I probably wasn't going to be able to afford them type of stuff. But at the time when I got out the penitentiary, and that's the first thing I went to working on was bringing him to Brownsville. And back then he was crazy. He wasn't charging number $5,000 back then.
What year you end up getting up?
2006, May 19, 2006.
So once you start doing the little bringing people to the little, bringing people out and all that stuff, bringing people to the town and stuff like that, life starting to work out a little bit more in your way.
No, man, because that first time, I know I hosted up on there to get Gotti down here, and he came, but it was so much negativity with it. Was like at the time, Brownsville wasn't used to nothing like that. Like right now, if you have a flyer saying so and so coming, they probably won't even doubt you because they know people actually will come to Brownville. But at the time, before then, I don't think Tommy Wright and stuff used to come back in the day and stuff, but ain't no real big artist that came. And at the time, Gotti was a person you see on BET. So they was like, I'm gonna tell one rumor they was saying he had to do a concert in another town on that day. Other people was like, they said it was gonna be Yo and Gotti. They were talking about homeboy Yo and me, and I was like, but me personally, I look at myself, I under promoted that junk. I just really thought that like, okay, I say that Gotti come and put a few flyers out, he gonna get around town word of mouth. And the day of the concert, I even started doubting what crazy. I'm thinking like after I sent the little contract off and stuff, and they signed and sent it back. I'm thinking like, what if they don't come? How am I gonna really make them people come? Them people might could have ran off with my deposit. Cause I heard it was a song Boosie was saying when he was like, "You missing your money," cause they saying you'll cutthroat promoters and stuff and run off with their deposit. And I'm like, you really can do that. And I started thinking like, man, what if Gotti don't come type stuff? Even though I did the contract and everything, but I wasn't keeping in touch with his manager, his manager like Pepper, Mouth of the South at the time. And from the time I actually paid my deposit, I ain't talked to Pepper no more till like the day of the concert, and it was like a month and a half. And so, but he called me, he said, "Hey man, we getting off the interstate, man, where we need to come." I said, "Oh, them people here for real." So I went out there and met them by McDonald's at the gas station. And they was in the Magnum, and I looked in the back seat, man, but dude kept on like, "Hey man, you ain't gotta look back there, got in there and this and that." He was like, "Man, I need the rest of the money before he can perform." And so I had to give him the rest of the money, and he counted everything was straight. And then God just had me himself get out and go in the gas station and get some. I said, "Dang, that nigga really hurt." And so, boom, he come there. But what crazy is, roughly only 75 people even came to the concert. Like, and most of them were like youngsters at the time. I was 23. So most of these people were like 16, 17, 15, stuff like that. And so, I don't know, I just look back now, I could have promoted it better. Because if I would have did it, because the internet, we ain't just had no social media like that. Like, MySpace was very, very first coming out. We ain't heard of Facebook at all, none of that stuff. What I would have did, I would have went to clubs, parties, everything, factories, just where a lot of people at, and I would have got me like 1,000 flyers, and I would have went to all the surrounding counties like Alamo, Jackson, Bolivar, Somerville, Brownsville, Covington, Ripley, and just been passing them junks out. But I would have did it like, I would have did all that in like a week. Like every day I went to a different place, one of them different cities, and put the flyers on their car and stuff. A lot of people actually, even in Brown, said, "Shoot, we ain't even heard about it. We ain't heard about it." And that back then when you were doing concerts, the main way people would hear about it was on the radio, or either you had a street team. And so, really, I needed like a street team type stuff or something like that. But I was proud of myself because I actually pulled something off. That really in my mind showed me too, where pretty much anything illegal and legal that I'd ever try to put my mind to, I done it. I done accomplished it. So that's how I know I can really probably do whatever I put my mind to. Because there's some, like I said, it just started with a thought in the penitentiary. But once I got it stuck in my head, I got out and did it. And I used to do this stuff too on a legal tip. Like, if some of my guys, if you know them, I tell them certain stuff like, "Man, we gonna do this. You will sell out." I was saying in my head, I ain't got no money to bring them back in 90 days. So I couldn't bring them back in 90 days. And later on, when I was even thinking about it, he had like, this was like a little bit less than a year later when I was thinking about it again, he would charge $8,500 then, like, he done went up. So that's why I ain't never do it again.
Alright, so alright, so after that jump right there, you really ain't really just had no success in that show. So what you end on? You just ended up just with like I'm just gonna come up with another plan and just stick it out.
No, not really. I'm gonna keep it real. Like I told you, I have been messing up a lot, and like I said, I always go to a higher thing. Like I said, first I went to juvenile, then the county jail, then the penitentiary. Like I said, this time I was like hustling, like really, really hustling. Like me and my team, we were like head of town on lock type stuff, and I ended up getting a Fed charge. I ended up going to federal penitentiary. Like I said, every time I get popped, I go up a higher step, and I end up going to the feds.
So what year you end up running into it with the feds?
2007. That's when I got indicted.
Once you had to run in with the feds, like what was going through your head?
Man, really, man, I started thinking about like, basically I had caught a dope charge, and I had made bond. I was out on bond. I've been going back and forth to court, going back and forth to court. So back then, pretty much, that was my first dope charge. So usually what they used to do, they'll offer you like 6 months in the county, 8 years state probation. So now I ain't on no papers no more because like I said, I got a penitentiary. I fled my time out the state penitentiary. So I'm just thinking like, okay, I got a lawyer. I'm gonna make my lawyer might make the charge last like 2-3 years. They keep throwing it off and stuff like that. Cause I done seen a lot of people do that, especially from the streets. Like, cause I done seen people do it in the county jail. So that's what I had been doing. I had been going back and forth to court for like almost a year. And one day I was at home. I remember like yesterday, it was like a knock on the door. And so I go open up the door. It's like 4 Brown police officers. I'm like, man, what's up, man? They like, man, right now we need to detain you. Put some clothes on this and this. So I put some clothes on. I said, detain me? They said, yeah. I said, I'm under arrest. They said, nah, you ain't under arrest. But we need to detain you. I said, detain me. So they put the cuffs on me and just put me in the back seat of the car. And I'm like, well, I'm finna go to the county. I'm finna go to the police department where I'm going. They said nowhere, so they just pulled up in front of my house and just waiting. Next thing I know, about 10 minutes later, I'm just sitting in the car. I said, man, this ain't never happened before, man. What's going on? So I said, why they just waiting here? And so the police came. I seen some headlights come up behind the car. Then I seen the police officer get out and they said, where he at? They saw he in the back seat of the car. So they opened up the door. And the officer was like, Stephen Moore. I said, yeah. He said on, I want to say June 11th, 2007, the federal grand jury of the Western District of Tennessee. The only thing I'm into, I said federal grand jury. I said, you said federal? He said, yeah, federal. I said, man, what a federal grand jury indict me for? He said, you remember that dope that they found in the street? I said, yeah. And he was like, that what you going down for? I told you I'm going to put your ass under a federal penitentiary. They were the officer because he had threatened me like that, but I ain't found out that later on he had pushed it to the feds and said I was a nuisance to Brownsville, even though I don't really think I was. But yeah, that's how I ended up getting federally indicted though. I was just tripping out like, at the time I was number 24. I'm like, man, what I'm going to fed for? Because the amount of dope it was, to me, it wasn't even no large amount. And so I ended up getting indicted and going through the federal court process and ended up getting 63 months. Because the feds, they go by months, they don't go by years.
So with all that time ahead of you, so federal different from the state. So what was different about the federal from the state?
Well, for one, in the state penitentiary, you might have a cell of a different race. Might be a Mexican, white boy. They'll mix y'all up. But when you get to the feds, you rarely see that happen. Really on the level I was on, because I was in the USP. And USP stands for United States Penitentiary. That's like the highest level almost. And so, but it really is the highest level. It's a level a little bit higher called ADX. They're like where Larry Hoover and all them at. But I was in the USP. And most of them end up having like, and they have like a lot of time, like 30 years, 40 years life and stuff like that. But the reason I was in there because when you go to the feds, they like got a lot of factors they factor you in. Like if you under 25 years old, they're gonna jack your points up. If you ain't married, stuff like that. And so they usually try to send young dudes to USPs because to them they say they're gonna give us like training, like how to jail, because you know they were the most hardened convicts and all that stuff in the USP. But really, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I ain't gonna lie, I just wasn't tired of doing crime yet. I'm being real. Like even though I had did all that time, that don't mean I can understand like crackheads and people on hardcore drugs. People like, why don't you just stop doing? Like them people gonna stop when they ready to stop. Because at the time, shoot, people I wasn't gonna stop till I'm ready to stop. So even though I was in the federal penitentiary, I'm a real optimistic type person. Even in dark situations, I always try to find a light. And one of the lights that I found, I'm like, I got 63 months. It dudes here got 63 years. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna be home for I'm 30. These guys probably ain't never coming home. So there's a lot of ways I was looking at that. I really wasn't looking from no negative point of view. Like I look at some of it because one of the things that's different about the feds is when you're in a state penitentiary, it's called state, so you still in your state. Like Tennessee, they only got 2 federal facilities where you can do time, and they got a camp in Milton and they got a FCI in Memphis. So they don't have no USP right here nowhere. So the closest USP that I went to was, like I said, USP McQuarrie. That's in Pine Knot, Kentucky. And that's one of them little towns again, kind of like I was in juvenile. All white town. The only black people really in that town are the ones locked up in the penitentiary. And it's so country that the guys from Kentucky that was locked up in the Fed, they never even heard of it. Like all the dudes that from Louisville and Lexington, this part right here was in East Kentucky. And they was like, bro, we ain't never heard of this place where we at. Because you up in the mountain type stuff. But and what else other differences I just really knew? Like I said, everybody from everywhere. You locked up with people from Hawaii, Alaska. I met all them type of people. Puerto Rico. Anything the United States own, you know, they up in there. So that's something I know is different. And then it go by cars. Like I'm gonna tell you what crazy. When I first got to the penitentiary, I heard about it. Like I said, I'm vice lord, and I first got to the penitentiary. You know, I come in, they can tell when you new, cause you do what you be wearing. You go in jail with a t-shirt on, some khaki pants, and some they call them Jackie Chans. You know, like them Jackie Chan shoes. And so a dude just came up to me like, "What's up, bro?" I like, "What's up?" You know, when you first get there, you ain't trying to be too friendly, so you be quiet to yourself. I'm just standing on the wall looking around. Dude, probably like, "What's up, bro?" I said, "What's up?" So he's like, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Tennessee." He said, "Oh, that what's up?" He said, "I'm from Joliet, Illinois." I said, "Oh, that what's up?" He like, "You affiliated?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What you is?" I said, "I'm vice lord." He said, "Oh, for real?" But the way he did, he kind of frames off for real. So he said, hey, folk. I said, folk, you know, I know about the guys. Yeah. I said, folk, oh, this nigga GD or something. So he said, "Hey, y'all come here, man." So then I see about 8, 9 dudes start walking that direction. I said, "Oh, this must be one of these. They must be at war or something with the vice lord." So he said, "Hey, y'all, this brother right here, he vice lord." And they kind of like threw me off because he ain't said no Grisway. It was Grisway. He probably would say, "This nigga right here, vice lord." He said, "Nah, this brother right here, vice lord." Then they all started claiming, shaking my hand out. They said, "Nah, bro, he ain't like that down here." You know, they were like, "We ain't on no gangbang stuff." So they started shaking my hand. And they said, "Nah, we on the coalition." And I said, "The coalition?" I had heard about it when I was in Oklahoma because that's the transit place. Like, when you leave, you go to there for, like, you know, they're going to determine what penitentiary you go to. So they said, "Yeah, bro, it's coalition." I said, "What that is?" They said, "Everything under the 6, everything under the 5 that's from Chicago, we ride together down here." And I said, "I ain't never heard it. I'm thinking they flies." So they said, "Hey, Rick, bro, we gonna take you to the yard, let you meet your brother, let your brothers tell you." They said, "We're gonna take you, let you meet the vice lord," because there wasn't no brothers in the pod. What crazy is, when I first got there, they had like ceased all movement because the brothers had just put in some work with somebody. So when we go in the yard, ain't no brother out there. But they introduced me to a black P Stone. They under the fire just like us. And they said, yeah, bro, this one of your guys, this one of your brothers or something. So we walk in the yard, bro. He said, nah, bro, they for real, they had it. They said, it's some stuff with Larry Hoover, King Gino, all the guys at the top of different gangs or organizations, they came together and like, we need to be together. But there was a purpose of it. Basically, they together to combat against the DC guys. Because when you in the feds, like, everything in DC go federal. Like stealing, dope dealing, shooting, everything go federal because they ain't got no state penitentiary. And roughly, they used to have their own state penitentiary, but they lost the funding, and so they started going federal. And so you got to think, they say in the federal system like 30,000 DC dudes. And I ain't gonna lie, they some treacherous dudes. They be trying to take over stuff. And just say you got on the yard before the coalition, just say you got on the yard, you got like 20 GDs, 10 Vice Lords, 3 P-Stone, 1 BD, 4 Latin Kings, 1 Mickey Cobra. But they all on their own little separate time. Now these DC dudes say you got 50 DC dudes. They gonna be hard on the GD, gonna be hard on the Vice Lord. But if all us together, we probably equal about the same amount they get. And the reason they did it too, also, no one just for protection, but just say I'm Vice Lord, you GD. I know you got laws, principles, and concepts you go by. You can't just be in here doing anything. You ain't like Crips and Blood where you just want to do it. You know we the same way, we got structure. So I know you ain't gonna be in here. I know when I'm in the feds, a GD not supposed to be stealing. They not supposed to be doing no homosexual activity. So I can kind of hold them to the same standards that I would hold one of my Vice Lord brothers to. And they can't violate me or nothing, and I can't violate them, but we kind of hold each other accountable, and it kind of like aid and assisting each other. So, but me, I be like, if people can do that in the penitentiary, they can do it on the town, because in the penitentiary, yeah, the big homie said that we supposed to, but my best friend when I was in the feds was GD, so I just be like, that's something I would wish would spill over out here to the street. But you got closed-minded thinking people that, looking automatically, they gonna just always just feel like, you GD, I'm Vice Lord. I'm Vice Lord, you GD, we ain't supposed to be cool.
So with that like that, so what you think people need to just, well, really it's a lot of, I know you said like really like a lot of simple-minded people and stuff like that. So what you think that everybody need to just change it, like what direction you think everybody need to go about with like just people need to just listen more or what?
Me personally, bro, it ain't even the older people. Like all the people that you probably Vice Lord and GD, they really probably don't got no problem with each other. They probably getting along. It's the youth out here. It's the kids out here, man. Like back in the day, we used to look up to our big homies and our, as you want to say, OGs or whatever you want to call it. Man, we used to look up to them and like really respect them. But now, the youth, they don't respect no older people no more. The people that they call they big homie, they might be 16, they big homie 21. We and a big homie be 21. Like we and an OG be 21 years old. Like when I was in penitentiary and I was like 18, my big homie was 42. He was a grown man. And so it's basically like kids leading kids now. But it really ain't that. It's really the music. And I know music influenced you to do stuff because when I was coming up, I'm bumping Jeezy, Gotti, all that, and all they talking about selling dope. And I'm following right along with it. I'm not saying that they made me do it, but it was already in me anyway. It just kind of helped enhance it. So that's why I say when these kids out here shooting and all that stuff, but they're really what the rap's rapping about. That's what the rap's rapping about, and it just kind of enhance it if it's already in them. Because I asked a dude one time, a young dude one time, and he kind of crazy. I said, if it was a bag of $100,000 on the table and a bag of 100 guns on the table, which one you would get? He said, man, I want the bag with the 100 guns in it. I said, what? He said, with the good bag with the 100 guns in it, I can get the 100,000 from you. I said, shoot, no, you can't say it opposite. Shoot, I already get the 100,000. If I wanted 100 guns, I could buy me 100 guns or something. But they just showed me like how the mentality is of the youth nowadays. But I really don't know what it would take to solve that problem because, like I said, they don't really listen to like older guys no more. It like just every generation getting worse and worse and worse. And I think that come down from like back in the day when the father first became insignificant in the home. Like, and it ain't really just the father. Like, I'm gonna say it go all the way back to like what they call the yeah the AC yeah the ACLU. Like when it first started, that's American Civil Liberty Union, and people be looking at it like when it first came, it was to help poor people. Like I think it came around the time JFK and his brother around that time, Mississippi, Alabama, all that. Here people sharecropping, people were poor, and it came to like give people vouchers to get food and get government assistance and stuff. But later on, it turned from like women had to kind of depend on men back there, depend on men. And the way I know about this, because I talked to my grandma, she kind of like a mini historian herself, and I just listened to the story of her and my uncle and them used to tell me, and some of my older cousins, and she said, baby, back then, like a man did have more power because like it was a time where women really didn't have careers, so their job really was to take care of the home. And so the men, they went and used to go out and get it, and so they took care of the home. But once they started coming in where a woman really didn't need a man, where, hey, I can get everything I need through the government. Because they basically had it where they started locking up the men, and or they tell you, well, you get these type of assistance, the man can't live in the house with you. And I'm like, why would you even make that up? Like, the man can't live in the house with you. So when a man can't live in the house with you, that means you ain't gonna respect him. Like, if I can get everything I need, I can stand on my own, all this stuff. What you really relevant for? And even a man, myself personally, if you think about it, looking within yourself, if you in your house and you really ain't needed, men need to feel like they are needed, that they useful. Because we don't feel like we useful, we really feel like what's our point. And so in the process, by taking the men out the house, now you start getting kids raised that don't got a male figure. So the mama can raise the son, but she really can't teach him to be a man. She can teach him to be a good person, to have manners and stuff like that. But she can't teach him to how to be a man. But forgive me what I'm gonna say, but how Charles White, he said it best. He said, how you know how to be a man? You don't even know how it feel for your dick to get hard. And when he said that, I said, that makes sense. How can a woman tell you that? That's like me telling trying to raise a girl to be a woman. I don't know how I feel to have a period. So I can't relate to the things, stuff women go through. So, like, just say I got a daughter right now. If I was to raise her up all by myself, I could teach her how to be a mannerable woman, a good girl, stuff like that, but I can't teach her to be a woman because I have never been a woman. And so when they took their male figures out of the house and you let a woman raise a boy to try to be a man, it's certain things she gonna do or not do that if a man with her wouldn't be happening. Like, it gonna be a time she shouldn't hug him and baby him up that she probably is. And it gonna be times that she going hard on him and she shouldn't go hard on him. Sometimes she make decision for him and he should be able to make decision for himself. And but you as a man, you kind of know when to let a boy be a boy. I got some female cousins now. They're like, they sons will go outside. They're like, put some shoes on. When I was outside, we ran outside barefooted all day. I'm like, man, let the boy go be a boy. Let him be a boy. And so that's why I say, slowly but surely, you got to think, this ain't nothing that happened overnight. When this male figure got out there, and then his boy grew up with nothing but his mama. Now he go make a baby. He like, shoot, I ain't want no male around there for me. Shoot, my son to make it without me. Cause I done had that type of mentality before. Like, shoot, my son, I'm in prison, but shoot, they gonna be alright. They boys. They gonna find their way. And really, people say they want to, but boys need their daddies. They need their daddies, and so that's kind of like why I think it is the way it is now, because it's been going on so long where boys don't want to listen to older men. The boys that really in the house with their daddy kind of don't want to listen to their dad a little bit. So that's how I think stuff when they took the mail out the house, that was one thing.
All right. So I got one more question before we get out of here. All right. After doing all the time in the penitentiary, doing juvenile and all that stuff like that, after being free, after doing everything, like where you see yourself in 5 years?
Mm. Basically, what we call the American dream. You know, I feel I'm be a homeowner, a business owner, and just like as we said, you know, me, I'm kind of boring guy, just living a regular lifestyle. You know, going to work, coming home every day, just chilling, not worried about going to jail. You know, not looking on my shoulder. And so he said 5 years now, hopefully my daughter be like 6. So, you know, just trying to be a good daddy to her, man, you know, talk to her and just basically be a support system for her until she get grown. Then I got some boys, they almost grown, they 16, 17. Just like talking to them and hoping I can guide them to, you know, not make the mistakes I made. I be trying to do it here and there, but like I said, they in Iowa, I'm in Tennessee. There's only so much you can do over the phone. And just me going to prison anyway, not being in their life, I know that like it affected them some type of way, you know, because I wasn't around, you know. But that's why I see myself in about 5 years, just being successful, living, you know, just a regular, quiet life.
All right, we're gonna end it right there. Those got it.